Webster Town Board meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Dolly, if you can do roll call, please.
Supervisor Flaherty.
Here.
Councilwoman Cataldi.
Present.
Councilman Abbott.
Here.
Councilman Dean.
Here.
Councilman Cahill.
Here.
Town Attorney Genesi.
Present.
Okay, I think on our roster tonight we have three slotted speakers for the open to the floor. And I guess in the order that they signed in, George Winter, who is the retired code inspector from the town of Webster. You're up first, but I gotta ask this question because I see that you all live down there right on the Forest Lawn Shipbuilders Creek.
Yes.
Robin and Henry, do you know George?
Yes.
Any possibility, since you're also talking, that it's going to be the same topic George is talking about?
You only want 5 minutes total.
In aggregate, you are looking to talk about this for 5 minutes. That's great then. That's efficient use of time. Jump ahead.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I was here back on May 6th. I think I bored you with all too much history about Hojack, and at any rate, I didn't mean to do that. But at any rate, what I'd like to do is request still, which what I was here for the last time on May 6th, that we could somehow get a meeting together with the town board to have a workshop to talk about the Hojack Trail or the lack of access to it, and ask for a pedestrian bridge is what we're here for. This time, I'm here with a few neighbors, just a few, with some of their concerns. And the real problem still in this whole process is not having a bridge, the access onto the trail, which essentially is coming down a hill and bluntly stopping right at the road, and you're going to have a crosswalk. The real problem realistically is a line of sight problem, and working with some much larger maps and an engineer, we've looked at this, and it's really a dangerous thing that they've created, because starting at Fairview Circle, and I ask any of you to just drive down there at any point in time. Right now, you can't get any place but past Shipbuilders Creek because we're lacking a bridge. There's a big, deep hole in the ground there. But to go down, and when you hit Fairview Circle, look around the corner to see how far you can see, and you won't be able to see to the right or the south side of the road at all. You can see the north side of the road, but that's about it. And the problem is that from that point at Fairview down to where the crossing is going to go in is 650 feet. You have to go from Fairview 300 feet more down the road before you can see to the right where the trail will be accessing. So that's not a lot of distance to stop. If kids, whatever, children on bikes, older folks aren't maybe as adept to backing back out of the way when a car's coming down at a higher rate of speed. The aggregate average speed on that road is 43 miles an hour, as reported by Monroe County. So it's, we still think we have a problem with what's been designed. We'd like to have a pedestrian bridge. We have some ideas and suggestions, and we'd like to meet with you on that. With that, I'd like to give it to Henry.
Hi, I'm Henry Nesbitt. I live 569 Forest Lawn Road. I'm right on the corner of Forest Lawn and Lake Road. So I see the bridge, and I don't have George's expertise, but what I could tell you is over the years, and especially the last year and a half, just seen dozens and dozens of people every day using the current bridge there. It is a very easy and safe access for people to get from the north side of Lake Road to the south side. So, and I am concerned about the speed and people crossing. When I go over to see my neighbor, you look 4 or 5 times to be sure. The aggregate speed of 43 miles an hour, I think that's correct. It's the 60 and 65 and 80 miles an hour that come down every once in a while that scares me. And I'm there. I see it. I hear it. So with people crossing at a grade level crossing, it gives me some concern. So with that, thank you. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I'm Robin Cowdery. I live at 658 Forest Lawn Drive. I'm an avid cyclist, hiker. I use that bridge all the time, and I see a ton of other people using that bridge. Right now, it's a very safe access. Friends of mine that travel that don't live in the neighborhood, so this isn't just about Forest Lawn and Shipbuilders neighborhood. This is about the general community. I see a lot of people using that as an access to get from, say, Lake Road to Drum Road, and then continue on to Van Alstyne. So there's a nice loop that they can make on their bikes, or people with their, strollers. So to take this bridge away and make people have to cross over what is a very busy road, and I echo what Henry says, 43 might be the average speed, but very often cars can use it as a drag strip, especially around some of those twisty, windy curves. They find it a challenge, and you can see cars traveling way too fast. So to take out what is now a very safe access across Lake Road out really is a great concern to many of us.
Thank you.
So a future meeting to discuss this would be wonderful.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Robin.
Well, thank you, Robin, Henry, and George. And we will put you on a future workshop meeting. I will say that we'll get you on in the next couple months because, as we know, the county, that's a county road, and the county has a 2-year project going on in the 2.2 miles from, I think, Pellet down to Bay over the next 2 summers. They're going to be taking out that bridge, I think, next summer. So, any bridge, I can't imagine it would be going in why they're taking it out next summer. So you're probably talking about a 2023 type thing. But from that standpoint, I appreciate you coming to the town. I do know that there's a lot of county aspects to this because it is their road. It is their right-of-ways. They kind of rule the roost down there.
Well, it is our trail, but it is their road. Have you by any chance talked to anybody about that design other than us?
Yes, we talked to George Hebert about it, and we talked with the engineers. They don't have, the problem is funding. They said we put one in, but we don't have the budget for it. Their idea of a crossing bridge is total steel construction, and you're looking at $1 million. The bridge that I found, a bridge company that is called York Bridges, they build 80% of all the bridges, whether pedestrian or micro traffic bridges in the country, and they would build for $150,000 maximum, and that's designed, shipped, installed. For 140 to 150.
Okay.
Well, we'll get you on the schedule, and I certainly appreciated what you said, Robin, that it's not just for the people in your neighborhood to have an access across. I do know that, and we'll get more robust at the workshop. When I drive by there, people coming from the Hojack across the bridge to your neighborhood are met with a do not trespass sign. So there are some people in your neighborhood that probably are very happy the bridge is coming out because they don't like people coming across that bridge. So there's two sides, well, there's three sides to every story, as we know. So, but we'll get into that discussion and whatever.
Saying that they don't want access to Forest Lawn any longer, so eventually we'll probably be just fine.
Yeah.
And the problem is that people, if they keep going past that, they wind up all the way down Lake Road, where the railroad used to go.
Yeah.
They wind up in people's backyards.
Yep.
And the people have to ask them to leave.
So we'll see. Well, thank you. Next up is we have one set of minutes for approval. That was the June 17th Town Board meeting. I've reviewed them. I would make a motion that we approve them.
Second?
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi?
Aye.
Well, I wasn't that observant this week. Was it you, Jen?
It was me.
It was Barry. Did I see you do this?
I snuck
Okay,
in
well,
there.
there you go.
I was in to do the bills. I went over all the bills and found them in order, and I move that we pay them as submitted by the finance director.
Second.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye. And I went over the prepaid warrants as submitted by Paul Adams, Director of Finance, found them in order. I make a motion we approve them.
Second?
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Steve? Hey, come on up. And are you Mrs. Proscia? You can come up if you'd like to. What is your first name? Patty. Hi, Patty. How are you? And this is regarding a fill permit at 710 Cogdill Circle?
Cogdill Circle.
Cogdill
yes.
Circle, yep.
So, we have a swale in the backyard. It's eroded a little bit over the years. There's exposed roots. And so what I want to do is, put a pipe in with some gravel and cover that, to sort of level it out just a little bit and cover those roots. There's an existing pipe on my neighbor's, uphill side that we'll connect to. So it should be finished off fairly nicely. The neighbor on the other side is much lower, and that side will be fine. So that's all we're asking for, is a fill permit.
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Did you, through this process, meet the town's new town engineer, Mary Harrington?
Yes, I did.
Well, you are going to benefit in this process because last week at a town board workshop, Mary did a presentation on fill permits, and I think we were all kind of blown away at the amount of detail that she put together in that. So the fact that she has a letter here that says she's in support of this, I don't know if we're going to have much of a dialogue on the town board about this, but certainly Barry or Bill or Patty.
No.
No, I appreciate that we've checked and there's no existing drainage easement and she knows where, and this was one of the things she talked about last week, is what
Yeah.
kind of fill is being used, where is it coming from? And she's got all that in the report. It's coming from one of the local landscape companies, consists of fill dirt and screen topsoil.
Yes.
Thorough.
And that makes it much better for us.
Well, unless you have anything else to present on this, I would make a motion that we approve this fill permit for the Proscias at 710 Cogdill Circle.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye?
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Okay,
That was
Painless.
easy.
thank you.
Thank you for coming in. Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. Have a happy 4th of July. Okay. Well, Art Patron. This next one, and I'm sorry, I was going to bring my folder that had all of our town board meetings and workshops. We had a workshop on this and discussed this at length, and I just can't, I don't have it on me tonight. It was within the last 2 months.
Yeah, it was in end of March, beginning of April.
Time flies. Well, I know we discussed it at great length at that time. I think, well, I'm gonna hand the baton to you. It was discussed that you were gonna go out and get some different bids or whatever, what
Correct.
you call it,
So
so
at that
you go
time,
right ahead.
we looked at some photos, we discussed the state of the Vosburg Pump Station. The town board agreed to allow us to get some RFPs, so for engineering. So we sent out 8 proposals for RFPs to different engineering firms. We received 2 back to create to do a complete evaluation and create a capital improvement plan for that station. So of the 2 back, they were from MRB Group and Labella. We're choosing the MRB Group due to their little bit lower cost, we hope, and due to their completeness of the proposal, quite honestly. The conversations we've had with them, they have been out, they've looked at manholes, things like that for flow. So asking for a contract signature not to exceed $38,000. The contract is $33,917. That includes flow monitoring. We hope to get a good flow monitoring after 4 weeks. There is a provision in there of $4,083. If we don't get good flow monitoring, we'll have to do it again for another 4 weeks. We hope to time it right so we get some rains, get some dry weather, things like that.
And so that the up to and not to exceed the 38,000 is because if we have to go to the second flow monitoring, that's another.
Correct.
Around $4,000.
Correct.
Art, I've watched your background is project management, and I've watched what you've done with Phase 1 over on Phillips Road, and I've been very impressed on how you've made the engineers sharpen their pencil and kept things under budget. Is there, how do you take something like this and manage that to make sure that they stay under?
Well, they have to. I mean, they have to meet their scope, their deliverables, and it's up to, we'll work with them as to when the flow monitoring goes in. They have a contract as to what they need to give us. They're going to look at the whole station, both inside and out, air release valves going up Fosberg Road that are rotted off and failed, and we will look at the discharge manhole. So we'll look at it, that station in its totality.
It's funny because now I'm surprised it's that far back we did the workshop. I know that a couple days before the workshop, Patty, myself, Paul Adams, I think Ken Doyle, we toured that facility. Is it our biggest pump station?
It is our biggest pump station, and and to your point, Tom, how do we know we're going to get what we're going to get? And that came to conversations I've had with them, the comfort level I have with Paul Chatfield, who will be heading up the.
Yeah. Is it my imagination at that workshop? Did Councilman Abbott, as a young college kid, put in those pipes?
I was out of college, but yes.
Okay. Okay, so.
So they're at least 20 years.
I remember we had that conversation that, okay. All right, we'll just leave it at that. Does the town board members have any comments or questions on this?
Can't move ahead with the project without doing the engineering study.
Barry? Bill?
No, I'm,
Well, I think the wording in this resolution, it's.
I would move that we
thank you.
authorize the supervisor to sign an agreement with the MRB Group in the amount not to exceed $38,000, it says here $67, shouldn't, no, just $38,000 is good?
$38,000.
$38,000, not to exceed that, for the evaluation and cost estimates for the Vosburg Pump Station rehabilitation.
second.
Excuse me, who's second?
That was Bill.
Councilwoman Cataldi?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Art.
We'll get this moving. However, like I said, they'll start some of their evaluation soon. We'll wait a little bit until we get some rainy weather so we can get good flows. to make sure everything, all the data is accurate.
I have one last question for you, Art. It's a bit off topic of Vosburgh, but at our last week's meeting, we were hoping to have by June 30th, which was yesterday, the PER from Barton and Judas.
I have it.
Do you have it?
Yes.
Have you sent it to us?
That isn't something normally we send. It's 600 pages. I absolutely can forward that.
What?
Oh, it's
Is it
600
really?
Yes, it's 100 pages of text, if you want to call it, and 500 some odd pages of data and
Okay.
appendices and stuff like that.
In
And
Mr. Baker's finest work.
absolutely.
You can send that to Tom.
Yeah, you
He'll
know
read it
what?
Over the weekend, and then summarize it and
Yeah.
email us.
Okay, but we got it.
Oh, absolutely, we did.
Okay.
Absolutely,
Wow.
we did.
I assumed this was like a 20-page
No.
son of a gun. Well, hey, that's great. Bill, do you want it? Barry, you want it? No?
I'll drop it off at your house.
Yeah. Good reading on 4th of July weekend, right? 600 pages of
yeah.
Engineering stuff.
Good reading.
Well, I'm glad that we got it, because we got a timeline, and I was concerned we hadn't had it yet, and
No, we
we'll move forward. Great. Moving on, Pat Stevens is here tonight. When do I stop calling you our new highway superintendent?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It's completely
After a
up to
year.
you.
Is it after a year?
After a year.
You
Yeah.
tried to milk it
Official.
for a year and a half.
I still want to milk it, to tell you the truth, but I can see that it's not working anymore. Before we get into this specific one, I just want to say that, Pat, I just continue to get unsolicited some great commentary and response, people calling me about the customer service that you guys are doing over there, and I just want to thank you for,
Good. I'm glad. That's what we're shooting for.
It's nice.
All those guys, it's second nature for them. They kind of do it naturally. So happy to help them facilitate continuing that. And yeah, just reach out wherever we can and make sure we're as responsive as possible. We're out there working on the roads right now and quite busy, so it does take some time. But for the most part, yeah, we've been able to be pretty responsive and at least get people the answers they need to continue about their business. So,
Yeah.
thanks.
Pat, I'm sure if you need any help describing this situation, it's only fair that Patty, you would describe it, because I think you have been intimately involved in this situation for several months.
I have. I've been in discussion with one of the residents in this neighborhood who's very concerned about the speed in the neighborhood. And we've been working with the former highway superintendent and the former chief of police and the now new chief of police and our new highway superintendent to try to rectify and see what we can do about this situation. The police have done speed studies, and Pat went out and took a look at it and had some thoughts about relocating signs. So our action tonight is to give him the authority to do that. Do you want to say anything more about it, Pat, what you found?
I was mostly here to answer questions if you had them, but essentially, after reviewing the signage there, the speed limit signage specifically for this road, the signage now I think is typical, that as you come on to the road, you have a speed limit sign that shows you how it proceeds through. That particular portion is near corners and intersections, and there's a section it's not long, but it's very straight. And through that section, I think, is where the majority of the issues that have been identified or are considered there. So after reviewing it, if that's where the majority of the problems are happening or the concerns, it just makes sense to add some signs there so that in the location where these things are occurring, it's very clear what the speed limit is, so that maybe some folks take a little better notice to it and respond better.
Did we also add that flashing sign to that area as well to make people more aware?
Right, PD had a few of the speed tracking signs, and I believe those also pull down study information as well, so they may be in the process of that. Given the location of concern, they actually had to attach it to a curb ahead type of sign. The feedback I got from them was they're always more effective if they're on a speed limit sign. So
Sure.
this will also allow us to do that, to only slightly relocate the physical location of that tracking device, the flashing sign that says your speed,
Okay.
to a speed limit sign in a similar location that it is now.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks, Pat.
Just an interesting note, in their preliminary budget, the police have asked for a tool that can be attached to monitor these speeds. Not only will be able to monitor and collect data, but photograph license plates at the same time.
Oh, that ups the game, doesn't
If they
it?
start issuing tickets on that street, the problem will go away. But it's all residents of the town of Webster.
Well, and it's hard, I mean, we have so many officers on the street at any given time, and it's hard for them to stay stationary in any one spot to monitor that, but this will certainly be helpful. I have no more discussion. Would you like me to?
If you wouldn't
move this?
mind, yeah.
There was a resolution, I just want to give some history. There was a resolution number 45 on December 20th, 2007, which actually established the 25-mile-per-hour speed limit on several of the streets in this neighborhood, including Harmony Station. So what we're doing tonight is passing a resolution to relocate and add a couple of signs to that area. So I would move that we're passing a resolution to authorize the highway superintendent to perform the following actions: to relocate the existing Harmony Station speed limit sign currently near the intersection of Westover Drive and Harmony Station to 150 feet west of the intersection of Harmony Station and Webster Commons Boulevard. It will remain facing westbound traffic. The second is to install 2 additional speed limit signs 300 feet south of the intersection of Harmony Station and Tallgrass Lane. One sign facing northbound traffic and the other facing southbound traffic. And that's my motion.
Second?
I'm sorry, who's second?
Second?
Councilwoman Cataldi?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your work on this, Pat. When do you think this will take place?
I'm gonna try to do it next week. It is a short week. Our schedule is off Monday, Tuesday, which is a little different, so hoping to get it by the end of next week. But
Great.
as long as nothing major comes up.
I
as
know
soon as possible.
the residents will appreciate it. Thank you.
Very good.
Well, our last formal agenda item tonight is, these are assets being transferred from the Assessors Department to the Webster Sewer Department.
Yep.
Interesting.
And this is good use of our assets.
Sure is. I didn't look at this closely. I thought we were retiring these, but that's great. Well, I'll read it off unless anybody's got any questions on this. I think it kind of stands on its own. Proposing a resolution to declare the following items as asset transfers from the Webster Assessment Department to the Webster Sewer Department. There's 4 such items: Sentry 2 drawer fireproof filing cabinet number 20, which is asset number 3197. Sentry 2 drawer fireproof filing cabinet number 29, asset number 3197. Sentry 2 drawer 2-door fireproof filing cabinet number 30, asset 3197. I could have done this quicker. Sentry 2 drawer fireproof filing cabinet number 31, asset 3197.
Second.
Supervisor Flaherty?
Aye.
Councilman Abbott?
Aye.
Councilwoman Cataldi?
Aye.
Councilman Dean?
Aye.
Councilman Cahill?
Well, for all the people out in the audience, boy, we cleaned them out in 29 minutes, didn't we? And but we will let anybody call in who's watching at home on the live stream.
You missed an opportunity, double or nothing. Just put it out.
But as we wait to see if anybody calls in, boy, it's a short, round, semi-round table tonight. We don't have any of the department heads here. Charlie, we do have. I shouldn't say we have 2 department heads.
No, happy birthday, America.
Yeah. You got the best
God
ties.
bless.
Yes.
You and DeSalvo got the best ties. John?
Good. Be safe, everybody. This weekend, please. Enjoy the celebration of the country.
Patty?
Same.
Barry?
Our museum is reopening. They're going to be reopening later in August, and as we get closer, I'll get more details.
Okay, I gotta take the bait. What, that big.
Our Town of
thing-
Webster, the Town of Webster Museum, the Village Town of Webster.
No, I know that, but you had emailed me about that big wheel,
We're picking that up on the 12th. And moving it to store down at Parks and Rec.
Okay.
The one that's been sitting outside?
No,
Oh,
it's not
okay.
sitting outside, no.
Okay.
No, this is a wooden wheel, it's inside the front,
Okay.
they're making room for more,
Yes.
Yeah.
more stuff, and they have two of them, so they were looking for a place for that, and we talked about it, it's historical, so
Huge, yeah.
we'll find a place for it.
Yeah, that's cool. Bill?
Wish everybody a happy 4th.
Happy July 4th?
Dolly? It's not
Very,
tax
very
season yet, right?
Not yet, but it's showing signs.
Speaking of history, I know that a few years ago, I think it was 2012, no, 17, they just deconstructed the baggage freight building and they stored it up in the well fields. They were going to do something historical with Carlos. Do you know?
Haven't heard a thing on it.
Okay. They deconstructed, they were going to build something someplace else years ago, and I was just
Really?
wondering if anything has come, it was, I think, Peter Elder's project with Carl Lauer.
It was a
I don't know if
village project.
I don't know if that ever came to fruition or not.
No, it didn't,
Okay,
to my knowledge, last I knew, it was still stored at the well field.
okay.
Okay. Well, looks like everybody's out and enjoying the good weather. We didn't get any calls, so this meeting is officially closed.